And there are a lot of queer people who have a lot of interest in trans politics and know a lot about it at this point. Now, at that moment that you acknowledge that, hey, maybe recognition has come, you know, and there is visibility, then at that moment you need to have another look around and see, well, what did happen to this category of butch, and what has happened to the category of femme, to the extent that it's a companion category, or to the extent that it's completely autonomous from either butch or trans. And to what extent does femme get kind of trapped as this person who has to choose between two forms of queer masculinity that are being presented to her? And then how does that again make her into a secondary player in the real drama that is about the cross-identified queer person?
A lot of femmes are just, you know, checking it out, doing a little bit of everything. And, you know, queer is queer, which is true. Queer is queer. I just, you know, I understand my own desire, and I, you know, it's here. But what some of these friends have said to me, even the ones who are very happily partnered, is, my God, would I have to hack off my chest in this day and age to be desired, to be accepted, to be part of the community anymore? Like, what happened to the dyke community? Is the dyke community dwindling?
There are a number of things that I think have contributed to a counter-identification with butch. One is that in the heyday of the emergence of trans men, say around the mid-90s again, those trans men needed to really clearly disidentify with butch, because butch was the cultural dominant in the queer scene. And butch had just, you know, there'd been a resurgence of butch femme for about a decade, and so if you wanted to say you were trans, you had to say you were not butch. And so the demand for the disidentification or the counter-identification came with a negative charge, which was, I'm not a butch. A butch is, you know, some potluck-giving, you know, woman-loving woman who is really a woman and is really a lesbian with just a sort of a butch flavor, a masculine flavor. That was how they read butch, and then by comparison, trans became the place of the real investment in masculinity and so on.
I think sometimes that maybe some females, I mean some lesbians might react differently or maybe negatively to like a lot of trans guys, maybe because the option wasn't there available for them when they were growing up, you know? Like, oh, you know, maybe they feel like, oh, they're making it so easy, like, looks so easy. Maybe they should deal with the struggle more and stuff like that, you know, because I've been dealing with the struggle more. And I've been dealing with being, you know, masculine female in a society that doesn't want to accept it. That's always going to happen, you know, especially between different generations. If every generation did things that's similar, then we would never evolve as a people.
Butch women for so long have been fighting against gender norms, saying that we don't fit into this box, but we are women. You might not think, we might not fit in your woman box, but because of our bodies or our presentation, but women we are. And here I am on the other side of this saying, you may not think I'm a boy because of my body or certain parts of my presentation, but boy, I am.
I do have a deep empathy for FTM men because of my own male-identified identity. I have never felt threatened by them. More what I feel is this, people kind of pushing me to think about transitioning. It's sort of like, why don't you transition? Well, I don't want to transition. I've never wanted to. The body thing has never been the issue for me. I like my body a lot, and I like it the way it is. And I don't think of myself as a man. I think of myself as a male-identified female and woman. And so it's not an issue for me, but I know it's an issue for a lot of butch-identified women who then become confused about what is this, particularly younger butches who go, well, you know, is this who I am, or should I be trans? I think there's a pressure that didn't exist before, because because more people are doing it, because it's known more, because there's more opportunity for it, and because it's more culturally valued than it was before.
I mean, essentially, in the eyes of a Butch identified person, we are undoing what they have done. And I don't agree. I don't identify as someone who undoes Butch, struggle. But like, I absolutely understand. I think, at least, the nature from where this stems.